The unlucky engine. There are many engines on Sir Topham Hatt's Northwestern Railway, all with different shapes, sizes, and colors. Most of them have different numbers. Thomas is number 1, Percy's number 6, James is number 5, and I'm the number 68! Yes, but this story isn't about you. Oh, but am I in it? Well, you're now. Yes! Philip, pardon me for asking, but, who are you talking to? Yeah, I was just about to ask. Oh! No one important. Bye! So anyway, as I was saying, there are many different engines on the Northwestern Railway, and most of them have numbers. Engines 9 and 10, also known as Donald and Douglas, are two of the island's workhorses. The two mainly pull passengers and goods, be it on the main line, the Brendan branch, or, where they're most commonly found, the Little Western branch, mainly pulling trucks loaded with ballast. The Scottish twins work hard and do their best, but sometimes even they need a little bit of help. One day, Donald was at Allsborough Junction, waiting for the ballast to be loaded into his trucks. Hurry up, you wee engine! I've got to get going!
Calm down, Donald. It's a steep climb,
huffed Mike. What's got you all anxious today? Asked Rex's driver. Donald sighed. After this, I have to take a passenger train to Elsbridge, then bring back a full goods train. Then, me and Doogie have to double head a long goods train from Nafford to Barrow, sighed the Scots. Rex and his driver were surprised. You really have your work cut out for you today, said the miniature engine. And that's just today's schedule, huffed Donald's driver. We've been running rampant all summer long, he sighed. Maybe you should ask Sir Topham Hatt if he can spare another engine, suggested Mike's driver. Donald just huffed. As much as we here on the Blanche would like that, the other engines are busy enough as it is. I doubt the fat controller could spare any of them to help us. Well, what about an engine from the mainland? Suggested Rex. Oh yeah, sure, because that's what we need. To take a gamble on whether or not the engine who will help us will either be a kind sort, like that Paxton, or a troublesome sort, like Diesel, scoffed Donald.
Well, maybe it could be a steam engine,
puffed Mike. Yeah, sure, because the Heritage Lines can definitely spare an engine this early into the season.
That's not what I...
Look, thank you for your suggestions, but we'll be fine, interjected Donald's driver. Indeed, I've dealt with worse, especially in the days leading up to my arrival here. So...
Hey, what's that?
Interrupted Mike. The engines and their crews looked across the yard. It looks like a cat, observed Rex. Aw, it must be a stray. Here, kitty kitty, cooed Rex's driver, but Donald thought otherwise. Absolutely not! Keep that cat away! Huffed the Caledonian engine. The Arzal engines and their crews were puzzled. What's wrong? It's just a cat, asked Rex. Donald huffed. Yes, a black cat. Oh no, not this again, groaned Donald's fireman. Mike was puzzled. Wait, what's wrong? Donald's driver and fireman sighed. Donald is a bit, shall we say, superstitious, explained the fireman. The small engines were still confused. Okay, but that doesn't explain what's wrong with the cat, said Rex. Donald groaned. If a black cat crosses your path, that means bad luck, said Donald. Rex's driver just scoffed. What absolute nonsense. But it's true, because there he goes again. Back on the Caledonian Railway, I met this engine, who knew this engine, who knew this other engine, who knew this other engine, who suffered a horrible accident after one of those cats crossed their paths, said Donald. Rex's driver, and even Rex himself, just scoffed. Yeah, sure, huffed Rex. It's true, protested Donald. Yeah, whatever you say. Now, here, kitty kitty. That's it, come here, cooed the driver. As the cat jumped into Rex's cab, Donald just eyed them with suspicion. Mark my words, there'll be trouble brewing in the future. Oh, stow it, huffed Donald's driver, and with that, the guard blew his whistle, and Donald set off with a jolt. Hey, what was that for? Cried the first truck. We're in a hurry and have to keep the time. So, we want no nonsense from you. Understood? Huffed Donald. The trucks remained silent as they went on their way. Now, Donald and Douglas are one of the few engines that the trucks don't usually play tricks on. Keyword usually. As, on a few rare occasions, they will tease or play tricks on them when both the engines and their crews least expect it. As they rolled down the branch, things went well. Until they came to the hill. Hold back, giggled the trucks. Donald huffed and puffed as hard as he could up the hill. I told you, we have no time for tricks. I told you, we have no time for your tricks. We have to get this train of ballast to Knapford as soon as possible. You heard him, boys. This train needs to get to Knapford as soon as possible. The trucks laughed and laughed as they crested the top of the hill and surged into the back of Donald, causing him to speed up. His driver and guard braked, but it was no use. Stop! Stop! Cried Donald. You said you wanted to get to Knapford as soon as possible, said the first truck. Be careful what you wish for, said the second truck. As they raced faster and faster down the hill, the Scottish tender engine and his crew were frantic to get the train under control. On! Faster, faster! Screeched the trucks. Oh, where's Toad or Bradford when you need them? Groaned the driver. The train rattled down the line towards Tidmouth Station. Oh no! Rebecca! Look out! Cried Donald. The Scottish engine put every ounce of weight he had against the trucks as his crew threw open his sanding gear and jumped clear. Donald slowly opened his eyes and realized he had only just lightly tapped the rear of Rebecca's coaches. Donald! Are you alright? Asked Rebecca. I think so, gasped Donald. After a quick inspection, Rebecca was able to leave with her train. Donald then shunted into one of the sidings to be properly looked over, while Toby continued to take his train the rest of the way. Oh, brother, this will only cause delays for the others, groaned the Scottish twin. Well, it can't be helped, sighed his driver. Luckily, Donald wasn't damaged and was able to go back to work, but he was still worried. And it wasn't just him who was upset about the delays caused by the incident. There were two ways of doing things, Duck began that evening in the sheds. Oh no. The Great Western Way and the wrong way. Alright, we get it, snapped Donald. Me and my crew should have been more attentive, okay? Duck and the other engines were surprised by Donald's outburst. Sorry, but all this extra work is ridiculous. You can say that again. It's been a long time since I've seen the branch this busy, added Douglas's fireman.
Now that I can agree with,
said Duck.
Well, maybe we could ask the Fat Controller if he could send another engine to help us,
suggested Toad. The engines and their crews sighed. Like I said to the wee engines, the other engines are far too busy, and I doubt the Fat Controller would be able to find someone on short notice.
I'm pretty sure that I can,
said a voice. It was Sir Topham Hatt. The engines were surprised.
Oh, Sir Topham, when did you...
Just now, and I'm aware of your troubles with the workload.
Beg pardon, sir, but we're doing our best to keep up with demand,
said Duck.
Indeed, sir. We're trying our best to be on time,
said Donald's driver. Sir Topham Hatt smiled.
I'm well aware of that, and while I must commend your efforts, today's events have made it clear that you need help.
Donald looked away sheepishly.
Lucky for you, I've actually already been looking into finding you some assistance, and I'm pleased to say I found him,
continued Sir Topham Hatt. The engines and their crews were puzzled.
Him, sir?
asked Oliver.
A preservation society has finished restoring an old tank engine, and they want to see what he can do. So, to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, they'll be sending him here to help you lot and conduct the tests,
explained Sir Topham Hatt. The engines and the crews were both pleased and excited.
What type of engine is he, sir? And what's his name?
asked Oliver's driver. Sir Topham Hatt stopped.
Well, I don't know. I just know that he's a small black tank engine, he said.
The engines and their crews were puzzled.
You don't know?
quizzed Duck.
I was, a bit distracted when his owners were explaining the details to me. But anyway, he should be arriving at Vicarstown tomorrow. Donald and Douglas, there's a heavy goods train bound for Vicarstown. So, once you deliver the train, you are to escort 13 and his crew back here, along with the returned goods,
said Sir Topham Hatt. The twins and their crews agreed as Sir Topham Hatt left. Finally, we're getting some help around here, said Donald.
I hope that he's a real useful engine,
added Douglas. The next day, the twins made their way to Vicarstown. The two engines and their crews chatted happily, wondering who and what this new engine and subsequently his crew would be.
Do you see them, Tony?
asked Douglas. Not yet. I see a bunch of trucks, coaches, Henry, and... Oh wait, I think I see them.
So do I,
said Donald's driver.
Oh, come on. I'm sure things will get better, said Henry. Yeah, haven't heard that before,
huffed the engine.
Don't be like that. I'm sure Victor can.
But before Henry's driver could finish his sentence, the twins rolled up. Morning, Henry. Ah, this must be the new engine, said Donald.
Yes, he is,
replied the big green engine.
Well, we've got to get going. And don't worry, I'm sure things will turn around,
said Henry. The engine smiled as the number 3 green engine left. Donald and his crew were puzzled, but didn't push the issue. Well, welcome to Sodor. I'm Donald. This is my crew. Oh, and that's my twin brother, Douglas, and his crew.
Good day, chap.
Oh, and what might your name be, laddie?
Well, I don't have a name, but a number. 13,
replied the engine. Donald went wide-eyed. Oh, really? Oh, well, okay, that's, interesting, said Donald nervously. His driver just groaned. Soon, the twins had been turned around and were ready to go, but Donald was adamant of going at the back.
What's up with you, Donny?
asked Douglas. Oh, it's nothing. Just I thought that you should lead for the returned leg, started Donald. Donald's driver just huffed. Soon, the guard blew his whistle, and they set off. Soon, the 3 engines were racing down the line and making good time.
So, What class of loco are you?
asked Douglas. 13 sighed.
I'm a one-off design, but not a very good one,
sighed the tank engine. Douglas frowned.
I don't know about that. You seem like a well put together engine, said Douglas. Well, the thing is...
Suddenly 13's driver spoke up.
We need to stop. Your brakes are jamming up,
he said. The engine's drivers applied the brakes, and soon the train came to a complete stop.
What was that?
asked Donald. 13 sighed.
My problem is since I was built, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong with me,
explained the tank engine. After alerting the signalman, they left 13 on a siding to be mended, and arranged with the signalman for him to come to the branch as light engine. As Donald and Douglas set off, Donald couldn't help but feel uneasy. And so it begins, he said to himself as they went on their way. It wasn't long before the twins arrived at Allsborough Harbor.
What's up with you, Donny? You've been oddly silent for the entire journey,
quizzed Douglas. Donald sighed.
Did you see his number?
Douglas was puzzled.
Yeah, and oh no, not this again.
He's bad luck.
Really, Donald? I thought you were past this by now,
said Douglas's driver. Donald just huffed.
What's going on up there?
asked Skiff.
Me little brother Donny. Little? I'm only younger than you by 9 months,
snapped Donald.
As I was saying, me little brother Donny is just being a bit silly about the new engine,
chuckled Douglas. Donald just rolled his eyes.
Look at the facts, doggy. I mean, he literally just broke down, making us late.
Douglas and the two engines' crews just groaned.
Rubbish. Can happen to any engine,
said Donald's driver. Daisy, who had been listening in on the conversation while waiting for her passengers, chimed in.
Well, I haven't seen him. I think you should give him a chance. Like you said, he only just arrived,
she said. Donald just huffed. Later that day, Donald and Duck were resting at the sidings at Tidmouth. Their two engines were just about to doze off when they heard a whistle.
Who's that?
asked Duck.
That would be 13,
said Donald, and he was right.
Sorry we're late. Something went wrong with my brakes, and a cow strayed on the line, and we had to wait for the farmer to take her away,
said the tank engine.
No worries. 13 was it?
At least you're here now, said Duck.
So what do you want us to do first?
asked 13's driver.
Well, you can take those trucks up to Callan Station, said Duck's fireman. Okay then. Shall we, 13?
Yes, we shall, said 13 as he puffed away.
They seem like an eager sort,
said Duck. Donald huffed.
I'd be keeping an eye on him. The number 13's bad luck,
whispered Donald.
Duck scoffed. Yeah, sure. One breakdown doesn't mean that.
Suddenly the engines could hear a commotion emanating from the sidings. What's going on? asked Duck.
I don't know, but we'll go and investigate,
said Duck's driver, and he and the fireman went to see what had happened. When they arrived, they found 13 a few feet from his train.
What happened?
asked Duck's driver.
The coupling on the truck came undone just as 13 was pulling away,
said the workman.
We'll have to replace the coupling before the train can go out. Sorry guys,
said 13 meekly. It wasn't long before the workman had found a new coupling. As 13 set off, Donald looked over at Duck. You still think he is in bad luck? He asked. Duck took no notice as he puffed away to collect his coaches.
Bad luck indeed. I'd expect something like this from Percy,
huffed Duck.
Indeed. Besides, 13's only just arrived. How much worse could things get?
said Duck's driver. Unfortunately, the driver and the rest of the branch would find out sooner than expected, as over the next few days, whenever 13 was around or assigned to a train, everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Bother. Sorry. Okay, driver. I think we release it now. Are you sure? I think we should speed up. Doug said 8.5 kilometers per hour, said 13.
If you say so, said the driver, as he blew the whistle, and the guard uncoupled the coach.
Or was it 12 kilometers per hour? Oh dear.
Just calm down. I'm sure we got...
Guys, I think we have a problem,
said the coach.
Oh, botheration,
groaned 13, as he and his driver reversed to collect the coach and pull it into the platform.
Can happen to anyone. Remember what happened when James first took them out?
Said Donald's driver. Donald said nothing as they went on their way. The next day, things didn't get any better.
I just received a message that Sir Topham Hatt is coming to your sheds tomorrow afternoon. He'll be wanting to have a word with you lot,
said the yard manager. The engines and their crews were worried.
Oh dear, this is all my fault.
Yes, no, interjected Douglas.
13, it's not your fault. This could happen to anyone,
comforted the Scottish engine. 13 smiled meekly.
Now, would you lot be so kind as to shunt ours and Donald's trains?
Asked Douglas's driver.
Sure, but, which ones would those be?
Asked 13.
The vans on track 1 are for Donald, bound for Brandon Docks, and the trucks of ballast and other vans on track 4 are for us, bound for Vickerstown,
said Douglas's fireman, and with that, 13 and his crew chuffed off.
Would you just stop?
Scolded Douglas. Come on, open your eye, doggy.
Ever since that wee engine and his crew arrived, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Rubbish. Sure, there may have been a few delays, but it's nothing that we haven't dealt with before. Ryan, you agree that what me brother is saying is nonsense?
Well, I mean, things have been a bit more, challenging since their arrival.
Ha! See? Huffed Donald. Douglas just groaned, but before he could say anything else, he felt a bump from behind him.
Oh, sorry, but we got your trucks for you,
said 13. Douglas smiled.
Thank you, 13. That was quick. Lucky for us, you brought our trucks right on time,
said Douglas's driver. Donald just huffed. As soon as the guards blew their whistles, the twins set off.
Driver, wasn't Douglas supposed to be taking the ballast to Vickerstown and not Donald?
Quizzed Ryan.
I think he is. Wait, Douglas!
But it was too late. The twins were already well on their way.
Oh dear. 13, I think.
But 13 and his crew were already gone.
Oh dear. This won't end well.
No, it won't,
sighed the N2's driver. It wasn't long until Douglas arrived at Vickerstown.
Right on time, said Douglas. Very lucky, you could say,
chuckled his driver.
Indeed, one in the headlamp for Donny's fussing over 13,
said Douglas. Just then, Rosie pulled up.
Ah, afternoon, Rosie. Here are the trucks young manager requested.
Rosie and her crew looked at the train coupled behind Douglas. Thanks, but we were expecting a train of vans, not a train of vans and ballast, said Rosie, puzzled. Douglas and his crew looked back and were shocked.
What on earth? Oh dear. 13 and his crew must have mixed up their trains,
said Douglas's driver.
and that means... Didn't even say it,
scolded Donald's driver. The Scottish engine said nothing, but let out an annoyed huff. That evening at the sheds, the little Western engines were talking about 13.
Well, I can't say I didn't tell you so,
huffed Donald.
Oh, would you just shut it,
snapped Douglas.
He's not bad luck. Everything that's happened was not his fault. It could happen to any of us.
Donald groaned.
Oh, sure it could, because the amount of things going wrong this consistently could just happen to anyone. I'm sorry, but something has to be done. He's bad luck.
The engines and their crews were shocked. Neither one of them had seen 13 and his crew pull up.
Oh, 13. How long have you been standing there?
Asked Donald nervously. 13 sighed.
Long enough to have heard the same thing I've been told since I was built,
sighed the tank engine.
Didn't listen to me, brother. You're not bad, but I am,
interjected 13.
I mean, since I was built, it's been nothing but misfortune after misfortune. I literally had an accident a few days after I was built. No doubt it had to do with that black cat,
he said. Donald's eyes went wide.
My new owners claim they can fix me and say that my tests are going well, but honestly, I doubt they're being truthful. I'm most likely going to end up as a static display when this is over,
sighed the tank engine as he puffed sadly away. Engines and their crews glared at Donald.
Look what you did,
huffed his driver. Donald just looked down at his buffers. Silence fell until Duck spoke up.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time where everything that could go wrong went wrong when a new engine, or two, first arrived,
he began.
And did the others label them as bad luck? No. And do you know why? It's because they could see that they were a set of really useful engines eager to work, in spite of a few mishaps, which, let's be honest, is par for the course. If you work on this railway,
he finished. Donald continued to look down at his buffers, lost in thought, until his driver spoke up.
I think we better go and find 13,
said his driver. As soon as they were given a road, Donald puffed away. Donald puffed down the branch, looking for 13.
13! 13! Where are you? I'm sorry for what I said. 13?
But there was no reply.
Oh, bother. What am I going to...
Suddenly he felt something hit his boiler.
Ow! What was that?
His driver looked down from the cab.
I think it's a rock.
Donald was puzzled until another rock fell. And another, and another.
Landslide!
Cried Donald's fireman. The driver quickly opened the regulator, and Donald started to move. But then there was trouble.
What happened?
My valve gear has jammed, cried Donald. More rocks fell around the Caledonian engine.
Help! Help!
cried Donald. Suddenly, a whistle could be heard.
Is that?
I think it is. It was 13. The tank engine raced down the line and bumped Donald and his crew out of the way. His driver and fireman jumped clear as more rocks fell. 13 was covered in rocks right up to his funnel. When the dust cleared, there was no sign of 13. Donald's driver looked across the blocked line and found 13's crew.
Are you lot okay?
He asked.
Yes, but we must get help and rescue 13,
came the reply. Donald wasted no time in getting to the nearest signal box, and his driver and fireman telephoned for help. Soon, Ryan, Judy, Jerome, Duck, and the workmen arrived to help clear up the mess. 13 was quickly loaded onto a flatbed and taken to the steamworks. But worse was to come.
Douglas and Duck have told me what's been going on, And while I'm aware that things have been a bit challenging since 13's arrival, that doesn't justify your attitude towards him.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, said Donald meekly. A few days later, Donald and Douglas made their way to the steamworks to see 13.
Hello, Kevin. How's 13?
Asked Douglas. Kevin frowned.
He's doing fine, but they're still trying to clear all the dust and dirt from his funnel,
explained Kevin. The twins frowned.
Well, can we see him?
Asked Douglas.
Yes, of course. Right this way,
said Kevin, as he guided the twins and their crews to the back of the steamworks. The workmen bustled around 13, trying to get him back in working order.
Afternoon, 13,
said Douglas.
Oh, hello, Douglas.
Then he looked over at Donald.
Oh, hello, Donald.
Donald winced.
Well, me brother Donny has something to say to you. Donny?
Began Douglas. Donald sighed. Yes, sorry for what I said back at the sheds the other night.
And
for labeling you as bad luck because of your number.
And
letting me superstitions get the better of me. Oh, and thank you for rescuing us, said Donald. 13 sighed.
Thanks, but honestly, it wasn't anything I haven't heard before. Like I said, ever since I was built, it's been nothing but a string of misfortunes. I can't tell you how many times I've ended up being put in either storage, a scrap siding, or at the back of the shed. I honestly don't know why these preservation people wanted to fix me. I'm only going to cause them more trouble and money,
sighed the tank engine. The twins and their crews frowned, until Douglas spoke up.
Well, I think it's because they see something in you that you don't,
he began. 13 was puzzled.
And what would that be?
An engine who wants to be really useful, that just needs to be given the right, attention, interjected Donald.
Yeah, plus, just the mere fact that you're still here and cheated being scrapped several times, I would consider that pretty lucky,
added Donald's fireman. 13 sighed.
Yeah, sure. But even so, look at everything I've been through. Others have attempted to fix me, but have been unsuccessful, he huffed.
Well, maybe Victor and the rest of the workmen here can help with that, said Douglas. Indeed, they can nearly fix any steam engine. I mean, they are the same people who restored the Japanese engine, Hiro, the master of the railway.
"13 was impressed, but was still unsure.
I don't know.
Didn't worry, 13. The workmen here on Sodor do wonders for any engine they can get their hands on, said Donald. A few days later, 13 was repaired and was getting ready to head back to the Little Western.
There you go, my friend. All fixed and ready to go. How do you feel?
Asked Victor.
I feel fine. Thanks, Victor. But, my firebox feels a little different,
replied 13. Victor smiled.
Yes, well, Mr. Hugh and the workmen were looking at your records and blueprints regarding your design, and we found that your firebox was smaller than it should have been,
explained Victor. 13 sighed.
Oh yes, I remember now. When I was first built, there was a miscommunication and the workshop gave me a smaller firebox than what was initially designed. Then, why didn't they just give you the correct size firebox when you returned for repairs?
Asked Kevin. 13's face fell.
As I told the twins, all of my misfortunes led to me either being kept in storage, a scrap siding, or at the back of the sheds. And when they did try to fix me, they only did the bare minimum, as they saw me as a lost cause,
frowned the tank engine. Victor smiled sympathetically.
Well, don't worry, my friend. We spoke to your new owners, and we gave you the firebox you should have been built with from the start. So that will solve some of your problems, said Victor, but 13 was still unhappy. I don't think a new firebox will cure my bad luck, sighed 13. Victor and his crew thought for a moment.
Well, the best thing I can say in response to that is to just keep calm and cool. Don't get all anxious or overthink things while working,
advised Victor's driver. 13 smiled meekly.
I'll keep that in mind,
he said. As soon as the line was clear, 13 set off for the Little Western. As he and his crew rolled down the line, he couldn't help but think about what Victor's driver and the twins had said to him. It wasn't long until 13 arrived at Timoth Station.
Hello, 13. Nice to have you back,
greeted Duck. 13 and his crew smiled.
Thank you, Duck. So, what jobs are there for us?
asked 13.
Well, you can take those empty vans to Allsborough Harbor. It would save us time to get ready for our next passenger train,
said Duck's fireman. 13 perked up.
Okay then, shall we, driver?
Right away then,
said 13's driver, and with that, they set off for the trucks. The tank engine gently buffered up to the vans.
Look out, boys! It's the unlucky engine,
said the first van.
We won't have to do anything. He'll do our job for us,
said the second van. 13's face fell.
Just remember what Victor's driver said and keep calm and cool. You're not inherently bad luck,
soothed the driver. 13 smiled and took a deep breath. As soon as the guard blew his whistle, he puffed away. At first, 13 couldn't help but feel a bit anxious. But as the journey progressed, he started to calm down. Until they arrived at the hill.
Just keep calm,
soothed 13's driver. 13 took a deep breath and attacked the climb.
Hold back,
said the trucks. 13 took no notice and huffed and puffed up the hill. And before long, he and the train were cresting the top of the hill. Gently braking, his driver and guard checked the train's speed as they rolled down the other side.
There you go, 13. Well done,
said the driver. 13 smiled as they continued on their way. Over the next few weeks, 13 worked hard on the branch. There were a few slip-ups here and there, but overall, there was a massive improvement in terms of efficiency and overall sentiment. Donald, Douglas, and the other engines also noticed that he seemed to be less anxious and a bit more cheerful. Before long, the season had ended, and it was time for 13 to leave.
We'll miss you,
said Duck.
You're always welcome back on the branch,
said Douglas. Indeed, and once again, sorry for what I said, 13, said Donald. 13 smiled.
Thank you, and once again, Donald, it's okay. Water under the bridge,
said the tank engine. As soon as the guard blew his whistle, 13, his crew, and new owner set off.
Oh, and when you get the chance, tell Victor and the guys at the Steamworks thank you as well,
said 13. We will, said the Little Western engines as they watched the lucky tank engine puff away into the sunset.